Picture this. You are not just existing, but you are experiencing. You are conscious. But what does it mean to be conscious? Let's consider consciousness as a perspective change, as experiencing everything from a first-person self. It's about feeling, seeing, hearing, and experiencing everything as though it is happening to you, the individual. It's a fascinating concept, isn't it? This perspective traces back to our evolutionary history. Early organisms navigated their world from a self-centered standpoint, responding to obstacles, seeking nourishment, and avoiding harm. This self-viewpoint held a survival value, and as brains began to develop, this viewpoint was maintained and enhanced, eventually giving rise to consciousness. It's natural that this self, or first-person viewpoint, and ultimately consciousness, developed. Any other perspective would have been unnatural. So it appears that the mystery of consciousness boils down to a simple shift in perspective, from the external to the internal, from the third person to the first. Now, let's turn our attention to the animal kingdom. How does a dog's consciousness compare to a human's? You see, consciousness is much like the process of sight. Just as images are processed by the brain to produce what we know as vision, consciousness too is a product of brain processing. And this process, my friends, is fundamentally similar across different species. Take our furry friend, the dog. It navigates the world from its own perspective, responding to stimuli, seeking food, avoiding danger, all from a self-centric viewpoint. This is not much different from how we humans experience the world. The shift in perspective that we interpret as consciousness, therefore, could be quite similar across the animal kingdom. The dog's consciousness, the elephant's consciousness, the dolphin's consciousness, they all might be closer to our own than we usually think. So it seems that consciousness isn't exclusive to humans, but is a shared phenomenon across the animal kingdom, a natural product of evolution. But if consciousness is a perspective change, why do some animals display more sophisticated brain capabilities than others? This conundrum suggests the existence of an additional component in the brain, functioning much like an artificial intelligence system. This indifferent AI, as we'll call it, is purely a processing unit, indifferent to the emotions or sensations of the creature it belongs to. This cognitive machinery varies significantly across species. Humans, for instance, are equipped with a particularly advanced version, which endows us with intellectual capabilities that far surpass those of other animals. Now let's entertain a hypothetical scenario. Suppose we could feed a human's sophisticated AI into a dog's brain. In this case, the dog's perspective would shift, and it would begin to perceive the world as a human does. Similarly, if in the future we could infuse a computer's AI into a dog's brain, the computer AI could potentially achieve consciousness. In the realm of consciousness, it seems we are only limited by the sophistication of our brain's AI. If we could feed a human's AI into a dog's brain, or even a computer's AI, would we be able to alter its consciousness? These are the questions that push the boundaries of our understanding and keep the mystery of consciousness alive.